There is a silent intelligence beneath your thoughts. It learns, remembers, and reacts long before the conscious mind catches up. When viewed through the mystery of quantum entanglement, the subconscious may not just influence reality, it may already be woven into it. Most people believe they're in control of their lives because they can think, choose, and act. But science and psychology both suggest something unsettling. The conscious mind is only a small part of who you are. Beneath it lies the subconscious, a vast inner system that runs your habits, emotions, beliefs, and reactions automatically. You do not decide most of your actions in the moment. They arise from patterns formed long ago. The words you speak, the opportunities you notice, the fears you avoid, all of it is filtered through the subconscious first. Now here is where quantum physics enters the conversation. Quantum entanglement is one of the strangest discoveries in modern science. It shows that two particles can become connected in such a deep way that distance no longer matters. Change one particle and the other responds instantly, even if they're light years apart. There is no visible signal traveling between them, no delay, no clear explanation. They behave as if they are still one system. Many scientists call this non-local connection. It breaks the old idea that everything must be separate and independent. And when you look closely, the subconscious mind behaves in a very similar way. Your subconscious does not experience time the way your conscious mind does. It does not separate past, present, and future clearly. Memories from childhood can influence your reactions today as if they just happened. Fears you have never consciously experienced can still shape your choices. In this sense, your subconscious is already entangled with your past experiences. But what if it is also entangled with something more? Consider this. Before something happens in your life, your body often reacts first. You feel uneasy before bad news arrives. You feel calm around certain people without knowing why. You think of someone moments before they contact you. These experiences are often dismissed as coincidence, but they happen too often to ignore. Your subconscious is constantly processing information beyond conscious awareness. Tiny cues, patterns, emotional signals, environmental changes. It connects dots faster than logic ever could. Just like entangled particles respond without visible communication, your subconscious responds without conscious reasoning. Now, imagine that your subconscious is not only reacting, but participating. Every belief you carry acts like a signal. If you deeply believe the world is unsafe, your subconscious looks for proof everywhere. If you believe opportunities never work out for you, your attention quietly avoids them. Reality begins to reflect what the subconscious expects, not because the universe is punishing or rewarding you, but because perception shapes experience. Quantum experiments show that observation matters. Particles behave differently when they are observed. The act of measurement changes the outcome. In your own life, attention works the same way. What you focus on grows stronger. What you expect becomes familiar. What you repeat becomes automatic. The subconscious learns through repetition, emotion, and imagery. It does not understand logic the way the conscious mind does. It understands patterns, and once a pattern is formed, it runs silently in the background. This is why change feels difficult. You can want something consciously, but still feel blocked. You can repeat positive words, but feel resistance inside. That resistance is not failure. It is an old pattern still active. Quantum entanglement teaches us that separation is not as real as it seems. Your inner state and outer experience may not be separate either. They move together, influence each other, respond as one system. This does not mean you control reality with thoughts alone. That idea is too simple and often misleading. Instead, it means your subconscious state sets the range of outcomes you notice, accept, and allow. Think of it like tuning a radio. The signal already exists, but the frequency determines what you hear. Your subconscious is the tuner. When it is filled with fear, reality feels threatening. When it is filled with lack, opportunities seem rare. When it is filled with calm and trust, life appears more open. This is not magic, it is alignment, and alignment happens quietly. The most powerful changes do not come from force, they come from awareness. When you observe your thoughts without judgment, patterns begin to loosen. When you feel emotions without resisting them, the subconscious updates its signals. When you repeat new experiences consistently, the inner system rewires. Just like entangled particles respond instantly, the subconscious responds when attention shifts. Not all at once, not dramatically, but steadily. Reality does not change overnight, but perception does, and perception is the doorway through which experience enters. In the next part, we will go deeper. We will explore how emotional memory creates long-term entanglement, why the body remembers what the mind forgets, and how subtle inner shifts begin to reshape the outer world, without force, struggle, or illusion. The subconscious does not communicate in words. It speaks through sensation, emotion, and memory stored in the body. Long after a moment has passed, the feeling of it can remain active, quietly shaping behavior. This is why the body often reacts before the mind understands. A tight chest, shallow breath, sudden tension, these signals appear without explanation. They are not random, they are stored responses replaying themselves. Neuroscience shows that emotional memories are encoded more deeply than logical ones. An event charged with fear, shame, or love leaves a stronger imprint than neutral experience. Once stored, the subconscious treats similar situations as if the past is happening again. This creates long-term internal connections, not just memories, but emotional entanglements. A single rejection can shape how you approach relationships for years. A moment of success can silently build confidence across different areas of life. These experiences become reference points that the subconscious uses to predict outcomes. The prediction comes first, the experience follows. This is why two people can live the same event and walk away with completely different realities. Their subconscious interpretations are not the same. Quantum theory suggests that systems remain connected once interaction has occurred. In human terms, experiences do not fully disappear, they stay linked to future perception. But here is the important part. Entanglement does not mean permanence. In physics, entangled states can change when conditions change. In the same way, subconscious patterns shift when new emotional information is introduced. This is where awareness becomes powerful. When you notice a reaction instead of identifying with it, space opens. When you pause instead of responding automatically, the pattern weakens. The subconscious receives new data, safety, choice, presence. These signals matter more than positive words or forced beliefs. The subconscious trusts experience, not intention. If you tell yourself you are confident but avoid situations that challenge you, the subconscious learns avoidance. If you gently face discomfort while staying grounded, it learns resilience. Change happens through repetition of lived experience. Small moments count. A calm breath during stress, an honest boundary, a moment of self-respect where there used to be self-doubt. Each one sends a new signal. Over time, the internal system reorganizes itself, not by fighting the old patterns, but by outgrowing them. This process is slow by design. The subconscious protects survival first. It releases old responses only when it senses stability. This is why patience is essential. Many people try to hack reality without understanding this. They chase techniques, affirmations, and visualizations while ignoring emotional truth. The result is frustration. Real transformation is quieter. It looks like clarity instead of control. It feels like calm instead of excitement. It shows up as consistency instead of sudden breakthroughs. As the subconscious stabilizes, perception changes. You begin to notice different opportunities. Your reactions soften. Certain conflicts stop repeating. Not because the world has changed, but because your internal filter has. In quantum experiments, outcomes are not fixed until interaction occurs. Potential exists before form. In life, many paths exist before attention selects one. Your subconscious attention decides what feels familiar enough to step into. This is why healing past emotional patterns often leads to unexpected changes in external life. People enter, situations resolve, new directions appear without force. The system realigns. And this brings us to an important truth. You are not here to control reality. You are here to relate to it. When the relationship between your inner state and outer experience becomes coherent, life flows more easily. Resistance fades. Choices become clearer. This does not mean life becomes perfect. Challenges still exist. Loss still happens. Uncertainty remains. But your response changes. Instead of being pulled by unconscious patterns, you begin to move with awareness. And awareness is freedom. The subconscious does not need to be dominated or erased. It needs to be understood. When you listen instead of suppressing, it relaxes. When you stay present instead of escaping, it updates. Just like entangled systems respond together, inner change and outer change begin to synchronize. Not instantly, not magically, but honestly. Your reality is not separate from you, and it is not trapped by you either. It is a dynamic exchange, a conversation between what you carry inside and what you meet outside. And when that conversation becomes conscious, life stops feeling random. It starts to feel responsive. That is the real power behind quantum entanglement and the subconscious. Not control, not illusion, but connection.